In a quiet garden, Jesus prays under the moonlit sky, asking God if this cup could pass from him, but ultimately submitting to the divine will. Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, sneaks through the darkness, his heart heavy with betrayal as he leads the soldiers to arrest Jesus. Jesus is arrested by the Roman soldiers while his disciples scatter in fear. Peter, following at a distance, watches in the shadows. Jesus is brought before the high priests, questioned harshly, and accused of blasphemy because he declares himself the Son of God. Meanwhile, Peter warms himself by a fire, denying knowing Jesus 3 times before a cock crows, just as Jesus foretold. Jesus is taken to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, who is perplexed by the charges. Pilate finds no fault in him, but is pressured by the leaders and the crowd. Pilate offers the crowd a choice to release either Jesus or Barabbas, a known criminal. The crowd, incited by the priests, shouts for Barabbas. Pilate reluctantly agrees to crucify Jesus, symbolically washing his hands in front of the crowd to signify that Jesus' blood is not on his hands. Jesus is flogged and mocked by the soldiers, who crown him with a painful wreath of thorns and drape a purple robe over his wounds. Jesus, wounded and weak, is forced to carry his own heavy cross through the jeering crowd up to a place called Golgotha, the place of the skull. Mary, Jesus' mother, watches with a breaking heart alongside John as Jesus marches towards his crucifixion. A man named Simon of Cyrene is summoned from the crowd to help Jesus carry the cross when his strength has all but faded. Finally, atop the hill, Jesus is laid down on the wooden cross. Nails pierce through his hands and feet, and he is lifted up between 2 criminals. The sky darkens ominously as Jesus speaks from the cross, asking God to forgive those persecuting him, because they do not understand what they are doing. Soldiers gamble for Jesus' clothes while mockingly challenging him to save himself if he truly is the King of the Jews. One of the criminals beside Jesus scoffs at him, but the other defends Jesus, asking to be remembered in his kingdom. Jesus, in agony, addresses his mother and John, entrusting her care to John as his new son from then on. Jesus expresses his thirst, and a sponge is lifted to him, soaked in vinegar, as he quietly accepts his fate, fulfilling another prophecy. Moments later, Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" A heart-wrenching echo of human despair. With a profound sigh, Jesus whispers, "It is finished," completing his mission of salvation and fulfilling the scriptures. Jesus' final breath escapes into the air, and the earth shakes. The temple's curtain tears from top to bottom, splitting the sacred from mundane. The centurion overseeing the crucifixion gazes in awe at Jesus, acknowledging that truly he was the Son of God. Near evening, Joseph of Arimathea, a secret disciple, courageously asks Pilate for Jesus' body for a proper burial. Pilate verifies Jesus' death with the centurion before permitting Joseph to take the body down from the cross. Jesus' body, tenderly wrapped in linen, is placed in a newly hewn tomb in a nearby garden, sealed by a large stone. Mary and other women silently sob as they witness the burial, making plans to return after the Sabbath to care for the body. Guards are posted at the tomb per the priest's request, with strict orders to prevent any tampering with the site. The darkened world waits in a still and sorrowful hush, unaware of the miracle that the dawn of the third day will bring.